Ding dong, the witch is dead.
We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot. Hey, ooh, ah.
Oh, we should warn people. This is going to be
this is going to enrage you.
This is rage halls. Just so you know.
This is going to enrage you, but you need to watch it.
4 nose or 3 nose piercings. What do you think the odds of them saying anything sane is going to be?
Well, by the way, the last 2 TikTok invasions we did, 2 nights in a row, followed by the one tonight tomorrow, our success rate on basically exposing that all of these leftists are celebrating this, regardless of the panel we go to or the person we talk to, is about 100%.
Yep.
They're all celebrating this.
Yep.
All of them.
The truth is, like, every person you see publicly celebrating this, you know there's 10 that aren't saying it on social media but are actually celebrating. It's time to admit, like, 50. It is true that Charlie Kirk had basically ordinary Republican politics, and they hate him for that. But what's also true is the people you see dancing here, these aren't fringe Democrats. This is the normal Democrat. That's what this is.
Went out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a in Utah, and I could not be happier.
I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what they deserve.
Keep that energy.
Stoked right now. You want to know why I'm so stoked?
Yeah. CK got AK, and he's gone.
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun.
Okay, so she's normal looking. So what do you want to bet she's a school teacher?
I doubt that she's normal looking. So
no, I'm
a lot
saying
of these,
no nose piercings, no freaky.
No, I don't know.
Hair.
A lot of these will gussy themselves up to get on camera in order to hide their actual grotesque appearance. Just so you know,
fair enough.
You never really know what they actually look like.
By the way, not to get too in the weeds, but this argument that you hear your lefty neighbors and shit celebrating the death of Kirk, that he said a side effect of guns rights were some gun deaths. Yes, the argument is that gun rights are inherent to us for protection against government tyranny. And unfortunately, just like having an automobile and rights to having an automobile will lead to automobile deaths, those are rights that we should have.
Actually, the argument there goes even further. The right to own a pool will lead to drownings.
Yep.
Right? The right to own a can of soup will actually lead to somebody drowning. Not kidding. Someone will pass out in their soup and they'll die. The argument there is stupid. Of course, tangentially, the side effect of people being able to own guns is that some people are going to die by guns. That is going to happen. There's no doubt that that is true. But the problem is that that's trivially true about basically everything in existence.
You could say the same. Remember, that's the Second Amendment. What's the First Amendment? Well, your right to freely associate, your right to free speech. Now, isn't it true the fact that we can say what we want will lead to arguments, which could lead to conflict, which could lead to death? So using the transitive property, couldn't I say that this bitch shouldn't have the right to talk because it could aggravate someone and lead to violence?
Of
course not. They would.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's all about force is what it's about. They just think that you deserve to die. Or if you don't want to die, here's what you can do. Shut up and don't say anything in polite society and give them total power. That's the deal they're offering.
Totally agree.
It doesn't matter anyway, because they don't believe in the rights in the first place. They don't believe in your right to freedom of speech. They only use it for, they
believe in the right to have an abortion. That's it.
Right.
The only thing I've ever seen leftists ever advocate for is rights for degeneracy. I've never seen them in any act towards a right that would entail some kind of duty or higher duty. The idea of being able to own firearms in the United States was always intended for the states, in case there was a tyrannical government, being able to quickly arm militias. Get them together, and they thought that the best way to do that was to allow individuals to own firearms, because that way you could pull up the unregulated militia to go with the regulated militia. And so there was a duty which was entailed there once upon a time. And the problem is that any time you have a right that is a degenerate right, those are the ones that they're advocating for, never advocating for more rights that come with any sort of responsibility or duty.
I couldn't agree more. And let's not forget, the argument that they're making here boils down to this. You like guns, so we'll kill you. And in response, you should give up your guns. Yeah. Give up your guns because we want to kill you for having guns.
Yes.
That's, I'm going to say
By the way,
no.
By the way, shot him with an old World War II converted surplus rifle that was only a 5-round bolt action. Exactly the prescripted rifle that they say that if people had, these types of gun deaths would not exist. Well, obviously, that was proven wrong in very short order. And it's always been the case that this was wrong. It's always been the case that people have always been able to do significant amounts of damage if they want to, even with bolt action rifles. They know this as well. It's always a gradual step-by-step thing. The semi-automatics, they got to go. The next, they'll never stop. It's not like they take one thing and then stop. Look at what they claimed with gay marriage and gay rights. We just want the gay marriage and that's it. Then all of us gays will be happy, right? That's what they said. But in reality, what happened is the gay agenda led to the trans agenda, and that's the truth.
They always are pushing the envelope one step further. The last debate I had went something like this with someone like this. We need to get rid of high capacity guns. Okay, what's high capacity? Anything more than 5. I said, okay, a traditional revolver has 6 shots. Get rid of that? Yes. Well, also, we need to get rid of anything that could do incredible damage at close range. You mean like my 12 gauge?
Yeah. Well, I told a guy who was on one of the gun panels, he said all semi-automatic handguns should be outlawed. And I said, really? Yeah. I said, well, what's a semi-automatic? He said, well, every time you pull the trigger, it goes bang. And I said, like a revolver? Yeah, they don't do that. I said, yeah, they do that. Double action revolvers, which is a modern revolver. Every time you pull the trigger, it goes bang, you idiot. They don't know anything. Anyway, back to this, guys.
Gun rights.
This guy's name's Bob Villain. He's like a wannabe rapper out of the UK. The UK, I remind you, where if you put a meme about a trans person, you'll go to jail. A comedian was just arrested there. Let's hear what the erudite Bob Villain has to say about Charlie Kirk at a concert.
Take this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns were.
That's our joke, by the way. Stealing our bits.
Because if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit. Oh shit.
Here he is.
Yo, real quick. At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death.
So just lying right through his teeth.
Imagine
the over-the-top lies. Immediate lies. At no point were we celebrating during the show Charlie Kirk's death, followed by somebody, of course, in the audience with a camera, perhaps even maybe his own crew who took this video, right? It looked kind of high res. It could have easily have been from his own crew, pointing out that not only was he celebrating, he was dancing about it. They were dancing about, like, how much more celebratory could they get? The only thing that was missing was him pounding a beer with the audience. I mean, give me a break, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, what this is he needs to post talk like, oh, I'm sorry, in our country, you could be arrested for this shit. He has to give the most farcical gaslighting explanation. That way, when the UK government decides not to charge him, they can say, well, see, he said he wasn't celebrating. These people, as you said on Piers Morgan today, these people will look you right in the eye. They'll smile at you. They'll shake your hand and they want you dead. That's who this guy is. He's lying through his teeth. And why wouldn't he lie? He's a guy that wants Charlie Kirk dead. Do you think he's beyond lying once he shows that he's capable of that sort of heinous attitude? Of course not.
Well, I mean, it's atrocious. It's not only atrocious, but this is part of the attempted gaslighting we constantly are talking about by leftists. Where they look you dead in the face and they're like, I didn't do the thing you just watched me do. I didn't do that. You did that. That's you guys who are doing that. You guys, you're the ones who are dancing on the graves of it. It's like, what are you talking about? And they just look at you with these dead, stone cold dead eyes and lie to your face. Oh, no, that is a woman. No. It is all about just our civil rights. Like, at what point are we got to just stop believing at this point that these are even good faith interlocutors?
But at no point was his death celebrated.
Yeah, right. Okay.
If it was, Go find me a quote.
Okay.
He's a piece of shit. And remember, if you do talk shit, you will get banged. How about that?
That's what he said.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally what he said. If you talk shit, you'll get banged. What a scumbag.
While making a sideways gun sign with his hand.
Yep.
Go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death.
Okay, well, we just showed it.
Did he just go source, please?
Yeah, he just
source. Can I get a
said
source?
My source. Can I get a source? Here's the source. And he's like,
You're not going to find.
This was taken completely out of context. I know that we were singing and dancing about this, and that I was literally on stage dancing around about this after I said, you talk shit, you get popped. Guys, you really took this out of context, though. Don't you think, Rob, that Mr. E's taking this out of context? Because Mr. E's it's just because he's racist, right?
Well,
because he's racist.
We know the last time we were on here, the script that Mr. E gave us, and I have to admit, like, it did feel a little off. There was something going on there.
It did a little bit, yes.
Yeah, it. We bought.
What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report, and after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration.
The arrogance of just the absolute certainty that he's not going to face any consequences. Again, I remind you, in our country, he could have said that shit and the law wouldn't go after him, but not in his country. If you're in his country and you say, like, I have a problem with grooming gangs attacking our children, I have a problem, your ass goes to jail. But not this guy. This guy, by the way, just a couple weeks ago, he did a performance where he was talking about possibly ending people over the Palestinian conflict. No consequences there. He knows it. Every one of us know it. We know that there's a two-tier system, both in the UK and the United States. Hopefully the culture is starting to swing back here in the United States.
Oh, look who sounds racist now, Robbo. You want this black guy to be held accountable for his actions?
And in jail, Rob?
Racist. I didn't say not in my country, in his country.
No, in his country, if the law is applied equally to him as it is to Tommy Robinson and many others who are accused. Count Dankula, didn't Count Dankula actually get jail time because his pug? Because did he get jail time for that? I don't remember. Mystery, do you remember if he got actual jail time or not?
Looking it up right now.
I don't think he did. I think he may have been put in a holding facility. And
but they were threatening him with it at the very least.
He had to go to trial.
Yeah.
And
no, he got a $1,700 fine after being convicted of posting a video of his dog performing a Nazi salute.
His dog.
Deemed grossly offensive under the UK's
That's grossly offensive.
By the way, rest in peace to his dog that just died recently, which is sad. It was a funny joke, and I'm a big fan of Dankula. So
to be fair, he did face a potential sentence of up to 6 months in jail, but the judge considered his clean record and low risk of offending.
That was awful kind of that judge.
Yeah,
thanks, Judge. Yeah.
So he fined him instead of imprisoning him.
Yeah, that was awful kind of that judge. He's like, well, considering you've never done anything wrong and the fact that this obvious bit offended some people, I'm just going to let you get off with a money sentence. They're pieces of shit, man.
Yeah.
Not a celebration. Isn't a celebration. Wasn't a celebration.
You, sir, are a liar. Is what it is, isn't it? Calm down.
No, wait, no, right there. Two things. One is visa got revoked from Marco Rubio, so you can't come back to the United States. Good for that. Secondly, that line right there, this is some Saul Alinsky shit, right? We're going to get to a particular character that you debated today here later in the show, Andrew, but this is Saul Alinsky shit where the reaction is the action. So the left will do something. They're like, oh, sorry about that. Your husband just got his you bitch. And then when you're like, you motherfucker, they're like, look at how hateful you are. Oh my goodness. I can't believe. Can you believe how angry Charlie Kirk's wife is? Right there where he's like, you need to calm down. They're celebrating the murder of a good Christian man. And then when you're like, you motherfucker, they're like, calm down. It's infuriating.
How dare you and call me a mother?
Nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
No. Let me explain that clip. That's Bethesda that created the Skyrim game. That's from their Indiana Jones game they just put out. One of the biggest gaming studios in the world. Now, there's tons of people in the tech industry, Blizzard Entertainment, a bunch of other AAA gaming studios that constantly were seeing their Discords come out the past 3 days celebrating the death of Kirk. There was one person at Bethesda that people were pointing out celebrating it. And so today or yesterday, Bethesda's official account, that's what that is, on X, put this out and says, good kitty, that's saying, you don't like fascists, do you? Which is their way of saying Kirk had it coming.
Well, look at the time and date that they posted it.
Yep. So, I mean, you can see, right? Like, again, it's these... they're pissed off that you called them out. So when they blatantly said we're happy he's dead, so now they'll just do little, well, I wonder what we mean by that. It's repugnant. At least stand behind the courage of your convictions and tell us how you really feel. You know, so hey, just when you're making decisions on how to spend your dollars, when that new, Oblivion game or whatever the hell they're called, Elder Scrolls games come out, just know that's what that studio thinks of you.
You don't play the Elder Scrolls, you boomer.
I mean, I played Skyrim, but that shit, we've been waiting for the follow-up for what, like 11 years now?
They just remade Oblivion. You didn't play that?
No.
I got shit going on. I got food to eat and shit. I don't have time for video games.
That's fair.
So much.
Don't watch that again.
And to Dean and Parker, thank you so much for reminding us that you are still white. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, when push comes to shove, you're still white. I hope all of my fellow
Can we
brothers
start?
and
Can
sisters
we
from the
just start by
community
asking,
can truly see
how
this?
Like, how is that actually offensive? I don't know how I don't know how that part's offensive.
I was gonna ask, what does this mean? Like, what does she mean by that?
Well, she means that because they both came out and were crying about Charlie Kirk, even though I think that was very disingenuous on their behalf. That they're going to stick behind him, of course, because he's white, right? That's what her point is. In case you were wondering.
Brilliant.
This is how stupid these lefties are, right? Sorry, I'm swearing a little more today. I'm a little on edge. This is how dumb they are, right? Like,
this is a family-friendly show, Rob. What the?
But they're so dumb because they don't realize if they would achieve their goal of getting rid of people like us, it's just going to be the white guy lefties that are next. And then after that, it'll be the black men or this men. It'll never end, right? The sort of cultural Marxist aggrieved identity politics, there's always the next group to go after. And so now Dean and Parker, what they're realizing, I hope you guys are happy. Not only did you happily make your bed with a bunch of lunatics that want their opposition killed, but guess what? You'll be next man up once us are taken out, if that's what these people could be able to achieve. So congratulations, Dean and Parker. I hope you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
For exactly what it is.
I said what I said. Have you all watched all the videos? This is really creepy, and I would put money on it. The vice president
Bitch, you
of
look
the United
insane.
States of America and his wife accompanied her through everything. What? They literally didn't attend a 9/11 event to go with her to pick up the remains and everything. Then she stands in front of a camera, and y'all go watch this video. It's broken down very clearly. A very bizarre setting where she's made to look like this angelic martyr and proceeds to make the most bizarre speech I've ever heard. Serena Joy. She would wipe tears that weren't even there. Like, girl, this could have just been an episode of Snapped. Why'd you have to do all this? This is wild. It's hard to watch.
Oh my God, these people. By the way, this woman is in one of the heaviest stages of grief a person can imagine. Now, this isn't even, I would give a person a pass on this, regardless of the circumstances in which their spouse had passed. But this was so outrageously egregious and horrific and unexpected that the shock for this particular woman probably hasn't been felt by anybody since JFK, right? Probably hasn't been felt by anybody since JFK. And it's like,
it happened right in front of her.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what the response to that is supposed to look like. How do you predict what the response to that is supposed to be?
I won't say anything for that clip or the next two other than to say this. To attack this grieving woman right now, and it's all over the place, is one of the most infuriating things I've ever seen in my life. And that's all I have to say. I won't say anything.
Sometimes you gotta bite your tongue.
But what about his kids and his wife? Fuck them.
Bald
She
atheist.
knew exactly what she was marrying when she married him. She's not innocent at all. And those kids will have more money than you and I will ever see in a lifetime. They're never going to be hurting.
Spiteful
So
mutants,
wah,
every single one of these
fucking
people.
wah.
Greedy, spiteful mutant.
Yeah.
You want to play the, oh, loving father didn't deserve that. Poor kids.
Another insane bitch with a ton of
actually
piercings.
genuinely believe that Charlie Kirk's children, especially his daughter, would have been in more danger had his life continued on. Because he literally said, quote, that if his daughter got he would force her to carry the baby to term, give birth to it, and raise it.
Yeah, but
Does that sound like someone?
Sorry.
That sounds like someone who's logically consistent with the view that a baby is a life. That's what that sounds like to me. So if your view is that life begins at conception, then this is what I don't understand, is that the logical entailment there is that even if a horrific thing happens to a person, that you don't then get to kill somebody else due to the horrific thing. That's no fault to the child. They're the ones who are actually have the demonic view that, oh, as long as the conditionals were horrible enough, then you can hurt people and it's fine. That's the fucking insane view, not Kirk's view. Kirk's view was the consistent view.
They know it, and they can't argue that it's not a life at conception, or even that it's not a life after a certain period of weeks. And so they just say, but the conception was tragic, therefore we could end this life.
Right.
There's no reason that wouldn't apply even after birth. If a woman is chained up and tragically is assaulted like that and is forced to give birth, and then she says afterwards, well, my conscience is that child reminds me of that horrific accident, be gone with it. I want that child's life ended. What's the limiting principle based on their ideology? They have none.
Well,
They
does
can't
this
argue.
woman look like the type of woman who has her emotions under control? Or perhaps does she make a many spontaneous decisions, which she probably regrets in life, like full body tattoos, piercings, and likely OnlyFans, right?
Who should have kids to you? Or someone who we should be calling CPS on?
And of course, occult
His kids are
symbolism all
1
over her
and
body.
3, by the way, so the likelihood of them remembering this is like 0.
Oh, the likelihood of the daughter remembering it isn't that high anyway. You know, sometimes in order to make an omelet, Rob, you got to break a few eggs.
So I put these together in order of like enraging. And so that was now going after the kids, going after the wife. Now we're going after the memorials and the vigils. Now we're seeing. Now, if you don't know, Bella Ciao was one of the things that was written on one of the bullets. That's an Antifa song. This was a song that was famous to be sort of this protest song against fascists, I believe, in Italy. And Antifa sects use this song all the time. And so what this guy's doing is these are counter-protesters that are showing up to the vigil, and they're harassing the people that are trying to peacefully remember a good Christ-like man in Charlie Kirk.
I don't want your salvations. Why? I want you to die. We're not going to give you a second chance, even when you beg for it on your knees, begging and pleading.
That's at a Kirk
I believe
vigil.
him. Yeah, I believe him.
Yeah,
And the rest of you should too.
That's it. At what point do we take them seriously? Take them at their word?
Well, isn't it one of the famous lefties that said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them?
Yep.
Yeah, but can we talk about that chord progression?
I stole it.
I mean, can we talk about that chord progression? I feel like what I got right with You're Fat was that, you know, the chord progression was the correct chord progression to really make something like that stick. Like, you know, why do these people have to be pristinely evil but pristinely untalented at the same time. Can't you at least give us something? Like the mentally ill Hollywood lunatics, at least they give us some entertainment. These people don't even give us that.
Yep.